Let's cover the background essay now. Everybody make sure you're looking at this page. It says background essay at the top. Asoka, ruthless conqueror or enlightened ruler. Okay, so everybody got that page out. Now let's go ahead and we'll zoom in a little bit. And the first thing we want to do is we want to number all of our paragraphs. So with me now, I want you to number paragraph 1 right there. Paragraph 2. Let's see. Paragraph 3. Down here. Paragraph 4. And top of the column. Down here. Here's paragraph 5. And if you want to put your 5 out here, you can. Okay. Paragraph 6. And paragraph 7 there. So we've got 7 paragraphs, and we're going to call this wheel picture number 8, and this square picture of this writing that you can't read number 9. So we won't talk too much about the writing you can't read. Okay, now back to the beginning. You follow along and let me see you tracking with a pencil, because we're going to be underlining some things. So here we go. The nation of India gained its independence from Great Britain in 1947. The Indian people were proud to regain self-rule and, like people in other nations, they wanted their own flag. They looked to their past, way back, over 2,000 years, to find a design that represented their culture and their values. The symbol they chose was a wheel-shaped image called the Asoka chakra. Its 24 spokes stand for the hours in a day and the fact that life is ever changing. The circular hub in the center represents the permanence of truth. The belief that while change is necessary, we must never lose touch with what is forever true. Paragraph 2. The chakra below, so this is a picture of the chakra right here. The chakra was named for Asoka, who ruled most of what later became India from 268 BCE, which is the same as BC, until his death in 232 BCE. Remember, when we're going towards the time of Christ, we're counting down to 0. That's why he could reign in 268 and die in 232. In many ways, he is the founding father of India. As a warrior, he conquered valuable territory that remains part of India today, and as a ruler, he introduced a form of government based in Buddhist spiritual belief that has been an important guide to the nation and even served as a model in other parts of the world. Okay, now let's underline some stuff here. Right back here. In many ways, he is the founding father of India. So he's like India's George Washington. Okay, he started the empire of India, and most of what he started is still there today. As a warrior, let's keep underlining, he conquered valuable territory that remains part of India today, and as a ruler, he introduced a form of government based in Buddhist spiritual belief. Now that means that the government was based in Buddhist spiritual belief, and he started it. That government has been an important guide to the nation and even served as a model in other parts of the world. Okay, so take a moment and make sure you've got all of that underlined. Paragraph 3. As prince of the Mauryan Empire, named after Chandragupta Maurya, Asoka's grandfather, Asoka reportedly led a lavish lifestyle. Now let's trim some of that out. Let's just underline the basic part of the sentence. As prince of the Mauryan Empire, Asoka reportedly led a lavish lifestyle. Okay? So that's what the sentence really says. All the middle part just talks about where the Mauryan Empire got its name and the fact that Asoka's grandfather ruled the empire. So as the prince of Mauryan Empire, Asoka reportedly led a lavish lifestyle. Now what does lavish lifestyle mean? Well, the word lavish can be found in the next phrase, enjoying expensive horses and great feasts. So let's underline that. That's what lavish means. But Asoka also had a serious side and was known to be very interested in nature and spiritual matters, which led to his study of Buddhism. Asoka became ruler of the Mauryan Empire when he was in his 30s. Within 10 years, extended its territory by conquering the region of Kalinga on the southeast coast of India. Okay, so let's get that last sentence right here. Asoka, start underlining, became ruler of the Mauryan Empire when he was in his 30s, and within 10 years extended its territory by conquering the region of Kalinga on the southeast coast of India. Now what's its territory? Well, that would be the Mauryan Empire's territory. Okay, so its is the Mauryan Empire. So Asoka was the leader of the empire. He got the empire from his grandfather, and then he extended the empire by conquering the region of the Kalingas. Everybody with me? Paragraph 4. After adding Kalinga to the Mauryan Empire, Asoka continued his spiritual transformation. What does transformation mean? It means his change. So we'll put change right there. He became a Buddhist. Let's start underlining there. He became a Buddhist. Now, if he wasn't a Buddhist, what was the only other religion in India at that time besides Buddhism? Hands up. Right, Hinduism. So he was Hindu, now he became a Buddhist, and he worked to, top of the next column, he worked to spread the beliefs of that faith. What faith? Buddhism. Of that faith throughout the region, while still honoring the traditions of the Hindu majority in India. So we were started to underline, and let's finish it up. He worked to spread the beliefs of that faith throughout the region, while still honoring the traditions of the Hindu majority in India. So Asoka is now a Buddhist. That faith here is Buddhism. And now you've got, but he still honored the traditions of the Hindu majority. So what was Asoka before he was a Buddhist? He was a Hindu. He sent missionaries to other lands and carved royal messages on numerous stone monuments that served as ancient billboards across the empire below. That means that this right here is a picture of one of those ancient monuments, and you can't really see it, but there I can see some writing right there. Can you see that writing? These edicts were written on pillars, boulders, and walls in different languages so that Asoka's subjects could understand the principles that guided his rule. Now, what is an edict? Okay, let's put a little star right here like so. And then out here, we're going to put another little star, which means that this note can be found over here. And an edict is an official message from a ruler. From a ruler. Now, I know you can't see that very well. An edict. An official message from a ruler. If you want to turn your paper sideways, and you can write that in there. So his edicts were written on pillars, boulders, and walls in different languages so that Asoka's subjects could understand the principles that guided his rule. That's a pretty smart thing to do. Let's underline that. Written on pillars, boulders, and walls in different languages so that Ashoka's subjects could understand the principles that guided his rule. Paragraph 5. Give you a minute to finish that underline, finish that note. Paragraph 5. The Mauryan Empire collapsed about 50 years after Ashoka's death, but his impact on India remained powerful. Let's underline that. The Mauryan Empire collapsed. That means it fell apart about 50 years after Ashoka's death, but his impact on India remained powerful. It became even stronger in the 19th centuries. What's it? What is it right there? If we don't know what it is, we can't finish it. It is his impact. His impact. So read it like that. His impact became even stronger in the 19th century when many of the edicts were rediscovered and translated by modern scholars. Ashoka's legacy also played a key role in India's fight for independence from British rule. Legacy. What do you think legacy is? Well, legacy is, and this time I'm going to put my little star here. I'm going to put my little star here, and I'm going to write sideways to make it easier. Legacy is the example that he set for others. Ashoka's legacy also played a key role in India's fight for independence from British rule. To Indians then and now, Ashoka was a giant, a warrior and a ruler beyond any in their history. So let's underline that. To Indians then and now, Ashoka was a giant, a warrior and a ruler beyond any in their history. See, again, he is like their George Washington. To us, George Washington is the father of the country, and he's bigger than life. Paragraph 6. There's no question that Ashoka helped to form India's sense of identity. The adoption of his symbol on the Indian flag 2,000 years after his death is evidence of that. But what about Ashoka's own identity? All right, now let's underline right here. The adoption of his symbol on the Indian flag 2,000 years after his death is evidence of that. Of what? Evidence of what? That. Well, that is India's identity. The fact that Ashoka has helped form India's identity. Okay? How do we know Ashoka has helped form India's identity? Because they went back 2,000 years and they learned about him and they put his symbol on their flag. But, look at the last sentence in paragraph 6. But what about Ashoka's own identity? This mini-Q investigates a man about whom we know relatively little. That means we don't know much about him. And what we do know is written mostly in stone. We know from Ashoka's own words that he was at times a troubled man. As he grew older, he was apparently haunted by some of his early deeds as an emperor. Okay, let's back up, because I want you to underline this sentence. We know from Ashoka's own words that he was at times a troubled man. Everybody got that? As he grew older, he was apparently haunted by some of his early deeds as an emperor. Like so many who have made a large impact on the world, this story has both its dark and its light sides. Which side of Ashoka should history remember? Examine the 7 documents that follow and do your best to answer the question of this mini-Q, Ashoka ruthless conqueror, or enlightened ruler. Okay, so let's pause it there. Okay, now go to your next page, and the first thing we want to do is break down the question. What is the analytical question asked by this mini-Q? Well, let's just write it out. The question is simple. It's right on the front of your mini-Q packet. Asoka, ruthless conqueror, so everybody write out conqueror, E-R-O-R, or enlightened ruler. Now put that in your best handwriting and keep it tight, okay? Take a minute and make sure it's in nice handwriting. Now, what terms in the question need to be defined? Well, first of all, we need to make sure we understand what ruthless means and what enlightened means. Ooh, I forgot my R on ruler. There we go. So we're going to put ruthless here. And then over here we'll put enlightened. And I think that'll give us enough room. Okay, the definition of ruthless means no mercy. No mercy, cruel, mean, and any other synonym that you can fit under there to go along with no mercy, cruel, and mean. Raise your hand and tell me a synonym that we can put in there. Okay, enlightened. Enlightened means wise, understanding, I think patience. Patient goes along with enlightened. Kind. Okay, and who can think of another synonym to go along under there? Okay, now we rewrite the question. And let's rewrite it like this. First, give it a shot in your own words. Go ahead and we're going to press pause and see if you can rewrite this question in your own words. Okay, now I'm going to do it. Let's do this. How should Asoka be remembered? Question mark. As an evil conqueror? No, I don't like that because I didn't use my words. I don't like that. I'm going to take evil out. Let's put as a, we're going to take the N and N out, as a merciless, cruel conqueror, or as a wise and patient ruler. There we go. So there's our new question, and remember, we're going to use that question directly in our essay later on Friday. Yes, we're writing an essay. Now, bucketing. We've got 2 and 3 buckets. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these last 3 out. We don't need those. The only thing we're going to do is 2 buckets. Now, which do you think the 2 buckets are going to be? Well, it's pretty simple. One is going to be enlightened ruler or merciless conqueror, and the other is going to be enlightened ruler. So let's put here, okay, merciless conqueror, C-O-N-Q-U-E-R-O-R, on one bucket, and enlightened, no, let's use wise. Shorter anyway. Wise ruler. So as we go through these documents, we want to look for two things. Evidence that says he was merciless and evidence that shows that he was wise. So before we start a document, we want to start a graphic organizer of some kind. So take a blank piece of notebook paper. Okay, I'm going to zoom out here so you can see me cut this in, or fold this in half. Take your paper, fold it in half by taking the paper and flipping it over to the red line. See the red line right there? So we're going to line it up with the red line. Okay, put a crease in it, like so. Unfold it, and draw a line along the crease. Right there. On the very top of the paper, we'll put the word Asoka, like so. And guess what's going to be the heading of each column? Well, that's just too easy, right? Merciless conqueror, wise ruler. So we're going to put merciless conqueror, C-O-N-Q-U-E-R-O-R, and wise ruler. All right. Now, as we go through the documents, any evidence for merciless conqueror will go over here, and any evidence for wise ruler will go over there. Okay? All right. Now we're ready to start analyzing some documents.